Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another edition of our Travel Coffee Talk. My name is Susan Walker. I'm the franchise owner of Expedia Cruises here in Red Deer, and we are just absolutely thrilled to say that we are celebrating in October our 15th year of business. So needless to say, after surviving the last 2 years, we are really going to be planning a great big party. So stay tuned for further details. And of course, you will all be invited. So we have some exciting news this week. If you have not heard that the government has lowered some of the levels for travel. So it is a step in the right direction for us to completely return back to normal. So just in case you have not heard, you would no longer require the PCR test that has to be taken 72 hours prior to departure and can be really costly. Instead, they've changed it to the antigen, aka a rapid test that needs to be taken 24 hours, which is much more affordable. So you can get them anywhere from $20 to maybe $50 a person, which is better than the $150 to $400 that we had been hearing was being charged. Now, just to make sure they understand that the rapid test that you have at home, it does not suffice. It has to be one from a registered lab, and you have to have a copy of it saying that you're negative. So if you have any questions, of course, the team here at Expedia Cruises in Red Deer are all up on the latest developments. So just give us a call if you've booked with us or you're wanting to book with us, and we will make sure that you do not leave without the latest developments. And then, of course, if you are gone at all and it changes, we will be in touch with you. So this week, we're talking about one of my favorite destinations is Europe. It took me many years before I got to Europe because it was not something that was really high on my bucket list. But once I got there, I just can't get enough. There is just no way I can obviously talk about the whole continent in 15 minutes, but I'm just going to give you kind of like the high levels of it if you've never been there, or maybe you haven't been there for a few years, as none of us have, and you're kind of curious about what it's all like. So a lot of Europe is opening up. Some are not requiring any testing at all, as long as right now that you're fully vaccinated is still the thing. But once again, your team at Expedia Cruises will know what you need and when you need it and everything else. So we'll make sure that you have all that information. Now, Europe is, you believe it or not, you can actually travel or cruise to Europe all year round. Although not all the itineraries are available, and it's maybe not the best weather. So we always have to take that in consideration. But going on the off season is usually the most affordable way to go. And so you can have home ports out of Southampton, Rome, Barcelona, Venice, Athens, and the list goes on and on and on. So you can go anywhere from a 2-night on board the Queen Victoria, which is an awful long way to go for 2 nights, but obviously you would add that on to a land component that we would help you with, or all the way to an amazing, get this, 62 nights aboard the amazing, beautiful luxury Regent Seven Seas, sailing the Med. So and everything in between. So if you are interested in going, let us know. Our most popular are 7 days or 14. 21 is also getting more and more popular as our clients have more time on their hands that they can go for a longer period of time. So as I mentioned, Europe covers, obviously, as you know, a huge territory. So you can look at the Baltic, sailing the Black Sea, the British Isles, where you could go with Azamara, and you could go to St. Andrews during the Open. How incredible is that? And yes, we can get you tickets. We do have the connections. Of course, the Med, the Eastern and the Western Med, and they all have amazing different sites to see there. We have Northern Europe, and of course, the Northern fjords. And one of our most popular ones is the repositioning. So that's when they'll maybe go from the Caribbean season on over to then sail Europe, or they'll go Europe to Asia, whatever. So those ones are really good because they can be unique itineraries. They are kind of going off season, and they might do it once and they won't maybe do it the following years. So if you're interested in those, let us know. Lots of amazing itineraries and all the lines do it. And don't forget that if you do want to do maybe a 7-day cruise, as mentioned earlier, my husband and I a few years ago had gone from Athens to Rome, and then we spent an extra 4 days in Rome, and we went down to Pompeii and we did the Amalfi Coast, and of course saw the Vatican and everything else like that. So we took what could have been a 7-day holiday, and we easily made it into a good 10, 12-day vacation. So it was really, really nice. So make sure that you ask us about that, because we can arrange that for you. Europe, if you've cruised a lot and you may be tied to one cruise line, your loyalty, which is we totally respect and we appreciate, but really Europe is more about the itinerary than what the ship. So you have to kind of think of it as a floating hotel. You have very few sea days. You might have one sea day because it's all port intensive. So you want to get in and, of course, see all the cities and the countries and everything else that you can. So we will always get you to look at the itineraries first and then match you up with the ship that has the itinerary that you want. So as with all cruising and all different locations, we have many frequently asked questions. So I will try and cover a couple of these as we go along. So the first, kind of the big one, is currency. So should I take Canadian? Do I take an American? How does that work? So although we're used to always going and exchanging our money to US and then thinking that then we go into any country and exchange it into their currency, that's not a step that you need to take. Save your money. Just go. Most of Europe is euros. Once again, we will give you that information on what kind of currency you need, but always exchange it into the currency you'll be using most. Smaller bills as always, so that you can tip the driver or whatever. And then, of course, always your credit card always comes in handy for those bigger purchases. But make sure, as always, you take your a picture or your driver's license with you, so that the stores can match up your Visa or MasterCard with your name. So, will language be an issue? We often think of some of the countries, and it can it can be daunting if we're going into a country that we feel that doesn't speak English. I have found that even if the people don't speak English, you can always get what you want across, and they're always trying. So, and so many, especially in the stores and the restaurants and that, do speak English. So you don't have to worry about that. And even you come across, we were in Munich, and we sat at one of the long tables having a cold beer, and we sat beside somebody from Germany, and he didn't speak English. I don't speak German. And but somehow or another, we were able to communicate. And of course, the universal language of a smile will always get you anywhere that you need to go. What should I wear? Well, sorry guys, once again, I'm going to tell you, you should probably leave your tuxes at home. Europe is more, as I had already mentioned, more about the destination. So you want to make sure you take really good walking shoes. You want to have comfortable shoes, layered in case you get into rain or whatever. In the evenings, as with all cruising, nice outfit to wear that you would normally go out for dinner. Or if you just decide to hit the buffet, I mean, your jeans will work just as well. So whatever you choose. But walking shoes, I find, is probably the most important thing that you need for when you go to Europe. So how far out should you book? Well, like all cruising, but even more with Europe, we tend to find people book further out. So believe it or not, we are seeing late 2024, 2025 will be coming through. I know that's a little far for a lot of our people, but definitely 2023. And we do have some bookings into 2024. And especially now with people not being able to go the last couple of years, things are really starting to get booked up quickly. So it's never too early to plan. So there are some formal evenings, as I had mentioned, but those aren't as big as what you would do with the Caribbean. So what do you do when you get to some of the ports? Well, obviously, once again, I can't cover all the ports, or we would be here till 10 o'clock tonight. But here are some of my favorite little things of what we've done. Mykonos, of course, the Greek Isles is famous for their windmills, Greek mythology. Santorini, building a country on top of a volcano is just amazing. And the sights from up there, we have done many, many things in Santorini. My favorite is we went to a volcano. My husband swam into a grotto, and so that was kind of fun. And of course, you can't go to Greece without wanting to sample their wine. So they're amazing. So just really nice sitting back and relaxing. Istanbul is such an exotic place, and it's reopening again for the tourists, and I highly recommend. My time in Istanbul was amazing. You got all the mosques, the blue mosques, the straw market, just a fascinating. And the people in Istanbul are so nice, and English is fairly well spoken there, so that's nice. Of course, Rome, you can't forget Rome, the Vatican, going, as I had already mentioned, the Amalfi Coast, Pompeii, the Colosseum, an Irish pub if you maybe come across one of those like I did. Livorno, of course, you can go and see the Leaning Tower. Monaco, Barcelona, Amsterdam for the history, Barcelona for the architect, the New York northern fjords are simply stunning, and of course the list goes on. And your travel consultant with Expedia Cruise Ship Centers will be able to assist you in deciding what you want to do, and will give you the experience or suggestions for the experience that you might want to do. So traveling to Europe can be complicated. There's lots of moving parts. And yes, you can come home after working an 8, 10, 12-hour day and spending another 3 or 4 hours every day on your computer, trying to figure out what's the best way, what's the best stateroom, what's the best ship, what does that pricing mean, what does that pricing give me? Or you give us a call at 403-341-0177. You come on in, you make an appointment with us, you sit down with your travel consultant, and we will then take all that time and free it up. And then you can just go and do your research on what you want to do. So let us take the stress away from you. No, you're not going to find a better pricing for the cruising online. We are going to have the best pricing or have the same pricing. So let the experts help you out on that. And then you can do whatever you do best, and let the experts handle it. So we have the Rediscover the World on still until February 28th. Lots of great, amazing partners. We have Celebrity Cruises, which is our highlighted cruise line for this month. And we are also doing donations to the Breast Cancer Society. So that's also important with Celebrity as well. So make sure that you maybe we'll look at that. And they've got amazing itineraries, groups pricing, that the pricing will blow you away. So on behalf of myself and my incredible team of passionate travel consultants, once again, thank you for joining me for this Travel Talks. It's so good and so exciting to be back and planning travel. We are seeing the pickup every day, and it just feels so good to get back to normal. So thank you for staying with us. Your support is so appreciated. You will have no idea how much we appreciate, whether you're a repeat client and you've been booking with us for the last 14 and a half years, or if maybe you're brand new and you're not quite sure what we're all about. Well, come on in. The coffee's always on. I promise you, you will always be asked to have a cup of coffee. Maybe you're like, well, may have a treat or two, although I can't promise that for every time. But so anyway, so thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Next week, we're going to talk about exotics. So super excited about that. We will talk about Tahiti. We'll maybe touch on Japan and some of the Asian markets, India, and the list will go on. And once again, there won't be enough time to cover it all. But Anyway, stay safe. We're still in the middle of the winter, so we do all inclusive. So, don't once again bang your head against that computer trying to figure out where you should go. Just let the experts deal with it for you. Thank you, everyone. It's been my pleasure talking to you, and have a good day. Bye.